Hi, everyone. We're back, and I'm crazy excited about what we're going to talk about today with our guests. It's all about entrepreneurship, taking the balance, taking big risk, and taking a big leap of faith. Okay, so let's get started. Our guest, at the age of 23 years old, has already worked in the freelancing industry for 5 years. She is the CEO and founder of Nave, an agency that caters to worldwide clients that helps brands scale with forward thinking digital marketing. Before launching her agency, she focused on trading and asset management. This became the reason for the founding of Sono Capital, a fintech company that is in the works of developing Web3 projects to help investors, traders, and creators in asset building and management. As a serial entrepreneur, she's also curating an avenue to amplify Filipino startup businesses to the world. Outside of all of these things, you can find her walking around the streets of Metro Manila with her film camera. She's so down to earth and very kind of her to give us her valuable time sharing her tips. Okay, let's welcome Niall. Hi Niall, are you ready to become extraordinary today?
Yes, definitely. Hello, hello.
Hello. Thank you so much for giving us your time. So before asking you the questions, tell us
hmm
about your story from your humble beginnings to owning up your own business right now. How did you get to where you are right now?
Yeah, for sure. But I feel like this is gonna be like the first time that I'm really gonna talk about it because like a lot of people usually ask like what do you exactly do?
Mm,
Because in this industry, especially where I came from, Asian family in general, it's really not like the norm when people work from home. It's just during the pandemic, right? When it became like a norm that it's okay to work from home or in a hybrid setup and all that. But um on my end, even before pre-pandemic, it's really another norm to like work from home or do digital marketing. Like they usually ask like what's the digital marketing and what do you exactly do? Like a lot of people knew me from doing trading or asset management or like I really advocate for financial literacy because that's something that we're very low at. And as I've mentioned, in an Asian family it's not normal, so like basically my entire being, it's breaking the norms. um yeah. So with the freelancing, it's not until I started with the marketing industry that I really found out that, oh, I'm actually been doing freelancing for quite a while, even probably like more than 5 years. Because I started actually uh with hosting. I started with um being a being on radio at our local station before, so that really where it all started. I did freelance photography, so it's really something that helped me build out the skill set that I have right now, because that's really important in this. It's becoming a growing industry, so it's really important to have that kind of brand for yourself, but at the same time, for yourself what your edge is and what kind of like skill set that you're really best at. So that was a pretty long introduction for the freelancing journey, but it makes up all of it in terms of really sharing where everything really started. Personally, it really started with my passion. I'm really passionate in terms of photography, in terms of really just building my skill set and connecting to people. So like connecting and networking, that's really something that I know that is valuable, especially in this industry. It's not just making friends, but it's also building out that network that um would help you eventually, because I always feel like you need to surround yourself with people that adds value to your life. And it's not just, you're after something or you're an interest based person, but it's really creating like a building blocks of your network. And after that, since I got like a lot of I gained a lot of experience with that freelancing. During the pandemic, we decided to build out Nave. So Nave is a digital marketing agency that focuses on a lot of niche. Actually, Elle asked me, I think a few weeks ago, asking me like, oh, do you think I should niche down, or do you think I'd be like, a generalist? So like, do you want me to be a specialist or a generalist? But like for me, a lot of agencies right now tend to become like specialists, but we really started with catering with social media marketing, and then eventually our main niche and our main service became advertising, which is handling Facebook ads, Instagram ads, and those kind of stuff. um so yeah, that's where it all started. And it's not just um this year that we founded Sono Capital. Sono Capital focuses on the blockchain technology, which is, highly connected to the Web3. Basically, it's Web3. In this capital venture, we're dealing with Web3 projects that we aim to help creators, investors, founders to have asset management, and to basically create a sustainable um, asset for them as well, and to build out their portfolio. Because it's really important, especially if you're new to Web3. It's learning the how to's. So that's something that we want to help this creators, investors, and basically everyone into Web3. That's why it's somehow more than just an entrepreneur like thing, but it's mostly a passion project for us. And the third one, it's amplifying Filipino startup businesses, to the world. This is actually an idea that came from Serial Entrepreneur. So ov- it's where we first met, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah. So with that, I had an idea, since the format of Serial Entrepreneur is that you're going to introduce yourself, and if you do have an ask, or if you wanted to like tell people like what you do, or if you wanted to call for investors and all those kind of stuff. And that's basically um the framework of um this startup avenue that we're curating. We haven't launched it yet, but we're hoping very, very soon, hopefully by next year, or first quarter of next year, because like this quarter, it's a lot of festivals, summits, it's everywhere. So hopefully by next year, we'll be able to launch that. That really tackles a lot of um, investing opportunities, because there was this one competition that I got invited to. It's basically a investing competition, wherein they're going to propose their startup businesses, and it's like, I don't know if you're familiar with Shark Tank, but that's something, the framework of that competition. So I said, like, instead of just having it in a smaller scale, we can definitely open it up to the world. So it's basically gonna be, the idea is easy investing. It's basically opening the startup businesses and allowing foreign investors to check in and dive into the situation of the entire Filipino startup here in the country. Yeah, I don't know if that made sense.
You have a lot of experience, I could tell. based from your what you told us. But were you always
Yeah.
having this creative side? Not um
Um. Yeah.
uh,
The
uh,
creative side.
mhm,
The creative side is I'm not the most creative person.
mm,
That's something that I always tell people. So like they ask like why are you even in marketing? Like because mostly in the marketing industry you need like creatives. It's
yeah.
all about creating and curating.
Mm,
But I'm not the most creative person. It's just that I have an eye for it. I
mhm,
feel like so far it's something that I'm somehow sure of. I have an eye for it. I know what I want and what I vision it to, especially like if we're doing projects and all. I'm very detailed when it comes to visualizing how it should come to life or something like that. Um, but on the finance side, actually no. Like I'm not the most financial literate
mm,
few years ago because I'm the type of kid who like spends a lot, and I really don't have financial management at all. Like I suck at that. But I've had this existential crisis, to be honest. Like it was during my senior year in college. So that's not just until like recent. I said that was it senior, but college years, basically in between of those. Um, I asked myself, I think it was like one morning, because I did trading. So trading
at
usually like
the
starts like
recent
9 a.m.
college years? Wow. You're trading
College, yeah,
college. Wow.
yes. So I started with that, and when I had that existential crisis, the first question I had for myself was that what's gonna be after this? Like after college, where am I gonna be? And like what am I gonna do? So, since like if you're college, you're basically the goal is to graduate. Like
Yeah.
during your first years, you have a dream. Like for example, I took up legal management. The dream is I'm gonna graduate. I'm gonna go to law school. I'm gonna be a lawyer. But then when you're at your junior year and senior year, you just want to pass. You just want to get over college. Like it changes. It's like you're just tired and exhausted, and you just want to get it done and over with. And I've had that existential crisis, and it was really really hard because you start questioning yourself, like what you're capable of. And even if like like you've had those skills and you've been doing a lot of things, it starts sinking in when you know that you need to transition yourself.
Mm,
Because for me, that's where I realized that transitioning to adulthood
mm,
is really a lot to take in, especially if you're so used to that your parents is there, or you have a support system, or you were confined in your university. So basically in college, you know that once you enroll, once you start, 4 years from now, five months from now, you know that what you're gonna do is just during the semester and all that, and pass your quizzes and stuff, and basically surviving that university year. But then when you start life after college, it's there's no certain like vision in terms of certainty that what's gonna happen next month, the next coming months. So really, really need to plan your life. And that's where, you know, at this stage in my life where I got really, really scared, because even if like you plan to go to law school, or even if you have this certain um goals in life, you tend to ask yourself like, is this something what you really want? And somehow you need to make sure. But then things happened, pandemic happened, and everything like just literally shifted. So yeah.
wow. I think you're not the only one who have experienced that crisis. I mean, at the age of when you're just graduating college, you tend to think about these things like, am I supposed to pursue this law, or am I supposed to do a 9 to 5 job? I think all of us have
Yeah.
gone through that stage, and we can all relate to you. And the good thing is you have overcome that, and a lot of listeners are, and me also, I tend to question myself, am I supposed to be an OFW until the age of 50? And I mean, no, right? No.
Mm.
So
Yeah.
um and you also talked about building your network. You have to surround
Mhm.
yourself with high achievers, those people who have goals in their life, who have ahead of you, ahead of they have
Yeah.
went through these things, and they have the experience that they can tell you um that uh they're giving you advices, right? So, and
Yeah.
you also talk about we get scared, right? And it's okay to get scared, and it's okay to question yourself, like, am I supposed to be here? Or, and you also talked about the transition, which is normal for us. And
Mhm.
how do you um that stage, like questioning yourself, how did you come up with that decision that I don't want to do this anymore. I want to pursue my passion, start to pursue my passion project, and and challenge my, and even though I'm scared, I want to challenge this creative passion. And how do you what was that point that you want to pursue this passion project that you have, or start building your agency?
Yeah. So with this one, that stage wherein I told myself like, oh, this is what I'm gonna do. It's when um the market crashed. To be honest, like I'm not gonna sugarcoat that because that
Yeah.
really shifted a lot in me because I did trading. I did actually daily trading, so that was really exhausting. Like I wake up like 7 a.m. I wake up at 7 a.m. and for example like some of my classes starts at like 9 a.m. or 9:30 or 10 o'clock, like anytime during the morning. Or usually I try not to get morning classes. Like I really adjust my time in terms of the trading hours of the PSE and all that. So like I did wake up at 7 a.m. and then I review the trades that I did yesterday and I did like research and check on the news and stuff because it helps. It's basically building the trading plan. And then that's really how I started my day before. So I at the time I think that when I told myself when the market wasn't really looking good, so like I said, like you need something that's stable, an active income that you need to work on because even if you have the capital or even if you have that portfolio that generates passive income basically, it's not as certain as having something that's stable already, like an active income. Um, so I shifted from that, still doing trading, but not as frequent as before, because I focused on Nave and eventually, Sono, starting with Sono as well. So I told myself that passive is really good in terms of building your asset, but you need something that's active also because you need to have that certainty or stability um in terms of finances because I'm the type of kid who doesn't want I transitioned from being like a kid who doesn't have like financial management to I don't want to get a single cent from my parents. So like that shifted as well. So my attitude towards my finances shifted as well when I started building my own because at the end of the day I still wanted to be that, like financial stability and eventually financial freedom when I reach a certain age. So yeah, that's where everything really started. And like a lot of things really shifted by just one existential crisis at that time. It's not even quarter life crisis yet because I wasn't even like, I think I wasn't even like 20 at the time.
Wow. You had an awakening at an early age. And I hope when I was 20, I hope that I had this awakening because I'm still having this struggle in handling my finances, right? So, and
Yeah.
with this inflation and recession, who knows what's going to happen tomorrow? And speaking
Yeah.
of that, what do you think are the challenges that startups or digital marketing agency face when building a business?
For me, my struggle in starting a startup business,
Mm.
it's basically answering how. How am I going to start this? Like that's something that needs to be addressed by entrepreneurs because a lot of people have a lot of ideas. Like when you talk to people, they have a lot of business ideas. Basically, because business ideas are solutions to their problems. So like they saw something that needs to be solved, or some people would think of like generating X revenue and those kind of stuff. So we have different reasons why we put up on startup businesses. But startup businesses here in the country, it's not as open as it is in different sides of the world because um when I started Sono Capital, we were actually targeting to build a trading bot. So the trading bot, this is actually the first time I'm gonna talk about it, like in a recorded session and all that. But the trading bot, that's the first idea of the trading bot. It's really to help investors and traders basically to curate their trading plan and to basically analyze more and have more analytics of the market. And then it was like a few months ago, I met with the CEO of the Tricks, CEO of Viridian Technology, and I believe that Felix was here as well, and Eman. I spoke to Eman. It was in a brunch as well, and I told him that I have this idea, and he proposed, maybe you could add this one because they do have like a pitaka. It's a wallet in the blockchain, which helps a lot of investors as well and traders who flips NFTs and all that. So basically narrowing down, the fees because the gas fees is insane. Especially when at the time OpenSea was the top market for NFTs. So the struggle for us really is the how to's, right? How are you going to start? And especially like get the capital, what they're gonna put in, things that you're going to need. It's not as easy as putting up a store, right? Like for example, you're opening up a coffee shop. It's not easy. That thing is not easy as well. But you know where to go. Like you go to register your business, you go to BA or you go BDI and all that. But with this sort of businesses, especially if you're in Web3, it's how, like, where are you going to go to license your business? Like the licensing of all that. It's really tricky, especially here in the country where it's not regulated. Unlike in, let's say, in Dubai. So you need to basically at least have a guide or have a mentor or like have people that knows these things. Because as someone who, in it 23, 21, 22, you have that vision. A lot of people have that vision, like especially if you were able to dip your toes into Web3 or into blockchain. But the thing is, how we're going to go around, because since there's a lot of scams, there's a lot of frog pulls, and there's a lot of uncertainty and volatility in this space. So to answer the how to's, that's really difficult because that covers not just starting up or putting up, registering and all that, but it's basically how we're going to scale your businesses as well. Because that's something for me wasn't taught in school. So that's really where a lot of people struggle. So I'm not sure why, but sometimes this new curriculum and this new educational system needs to be bumped up.
I think for many of us, like the old school system, it doesn't really help with our new generation, with what's happening in our
I
mind
agree.
these days, right? And speaking of
Yeah.
that, since we're running out of time, I would love to ask
Oh yeah.
you more. But can you give us tips on how you implement the work-life
Hmm.
balance?
Work life balance. Okay. I'm not the most um person, or like I'm not the person who really screams work life balance, because that's something that I still struggle with. It's not until recent that I started, like telling myself that you need to find balance in between, like doing this for yourself and for your businesses and for basically the everything that you do. I It was during pandemic where I actually started like not going out. Like I don't know, like I go a lot often. That was my coping mechanism in life. As teenagers, or like basically starting with adulthood, you tend to like, hang out with friends and all that. But during the pandemic, that shifted on me because I started focusing on myself. I feel like the work life balance is not fixating yourself in what you do in basically the job, the 9 to 5 job, or whatever you do on a day-to-day basis. It's also trying things outside of it. um a lot of people would always say that, like if you're starting to do something, you tend to go for your passion because it wouldn't feel like working. But for me, if you always do that, you wouldn't be able to enjoy the things that you love because it becomes work now, right? So I tend to still have certain passions that I don't want to, like, generate revenue from. It's just like what I wanted to do, or like what makes me, you know, um, feel happy or feel good doing those things. So that's like where the film photography is. I tend to do street walks. I love walking basically. And that's something that, provides clarity in whatever bumps in life that I go through. So, and also, at least once in a while, there's serial entrepreneur that happens every single month. I wasn't able to go this month because I was out of town, but for me, it's occasionally doing something for yourself. And the work life balance isn't just always like going to the gym. Like a lot of people, when you ask them what's work life balance, I go to the gym, this and that. Like I can't commit myself to that because I haven't reached a certain stage in my life where I told myself that exercising shouldn't be an activity, but it should be something a part of your day. But I can't, especially if you're still struggling finding that balance. You're striking the balance between your work and the things that happens outside of work. So for me, it's still having those kind of passions wherein you really enjoy, and allowing yourself to basically rest, because rest is not when um it shouldn't be like something you're gonna tell yourself like, oh, I deserve this, or oh, this is something that I need to be doing at this certain time, because you need to allow yourself to have those mental health breaks, because otherwise your body would demand from it. And when your body demands this kind of breaks, most of the time you can change your schedule because basically you're gonna be sick. So you don't have a choice. So you need to intentionally have those breaks and intentionally do something for yourself. because if you're going to just allow yourself to, go on the work life, it's gonna result to burnout, and oftentimes it trades your health with whatever you're generating, even if that's like 10x revenue or whatever. But you need to be intentional in terms of finding that balance. Although I still struggle with it, but that's something that we still work on. And again, it's being intentional of it.
Yes, I think it's different to other people. Finding work balance for you is just walking. It's simple as walking. And thank you
Yeah.
so much for that. Um, where can our dear listeners connect from you? I'm sure they would love to hear from you, but because of limited time,
Connecting for me, well, being in the digital marketing industry, I'm not the most social person. I feel like I tend to separate, me from the socials and all that, because that's something that I hold value with. I tend to not be on as active as a lot of people are on social media, but they can follow me on my Instagram at Lian.hp. So that's LLIAN.hp. Also, yeah, that's really it. But if we're that close, probably I'll give you guys an access to Snapchat. But that's that's something that um where I update mostly like friends and all that. But I'm really not most active with reaching out. But they can definitely message me there, of course, if y'all wanted to, have small talks. If that's something I'm good at. But I think
I'll
I still need to work on that.
yes, I would love to learn from you. I'll message you definitely. And thank you so much for that. And hopefully, no, we'll get to learn from you with another episode of podcast. And thank you so much for this recording. Thank you and have a great day, everyone.
Have a great day, guys.
Thank you.